Welcome to the AIA Northern Virginia 2026 Design Awards. The Design Awards are sponsored by
For 40 years, Shenmilsman Wilkie has shaped exceptional environments around the world. We have partnered with our clients to deliver innovation, insight, and lasting value through expert planning and trusted collaboration. From healthcare to corporate, higher education, and the performing arts, we bring together acoustics, integrated communications technology, and medical equipment planning services. As we mark this historic milestone, we honor the legacy that brought us here by celebrating our past and defining the future.
and by Architessa, Dominion Lighting, aimed by our bronze level sponsors.
Hello, my name is Ryan Doherty. I work for Progressive Companies. I am a principal with the organization, and I also lead our mixed-use practice nationally across the company. I've always wanted to be an architect from being a young child. I think it goes back to when I was making tree forts in the woods and always trying to, create and build stuff, and as well as just, passion for art. So that's always translated into my career, and what I do today is making places for people to live, work, and play. It's something that I think is very important and something I'm excited about.
Hi, I'm Carol Bacon. I am an architect with 20 years of experience here in Charlotte. I am a principal with ADW Architects, and we're a local firm with an office in Charlotte and Raleigh, doing a lot of the market sectors that we looked at today as part of the awards. And then my focus is primarily education projects, K-12 and higher ed. And in addition to that, I also teach part-time at UNC Charlotte in the School of Architecture, and have been doing that for about 12 years. And I'm currently teaching a studio on a K-12 education project design for a topical studio. And I've been fortunate to be a part of some other awards juries around the region, and always really enjoy looking at the projects and seeing what other cities or regions that are similar to Charlotte may be doing. It's inspiration for us, and also kind of a great standard for some of the best projects that we see, and really enjoyed being a part of this process. So congratulations to all the winners.
My name is Marcus Thomas. I'm president and CEO with KEI Architects. We are a small practice with offices in Richmond, Virginia, and Charlotte, North Carolina. I currently reside in Charlotte. However, I was born and raised in Southeastern Virginia. One of the things that I enjoy most about architecture is that I believe most architects feel this way, is our ability and desire to influence the built environment, which is why participating on juries like this is so exciting, because we tend to get caught up in our own work. We don't often stop to appreciate the work of others. So it's really, really exciting and fulfilling to me to see some of the great work that my peers and our peers are doing throughout the country, and to be able to contribute to the recognition of those projects that stand out and go above and beyond the standard of care.
My name is Mark Manack. I'm an architect and educator here in Charlotte. I run a small firm called Silo, and I teach in the UNC Charlotte School of Architecture. Our small firm does unique projects that range from custom residences to community buildings, sort of a lot of design build work, things like that. It was really a great pleasure to serve on the jury today. The work in Northern Virginia is something you all should be proud of. It was a very competitive pool of projects, and it made the selection process really difficult. So thanks for allowing me to serve on the Design Awards jury.
Hi, I'm Catherine Monroe. I'm an architect here in Charlotte, North Carolina, with Housing Studio, where I practice multifamily architecture, really focusing on where multifamily housing comes together to make community and define community neighborhoods. That's really my passion. And really enjoyed our time today here, looking at the work in Northern Virginia from AIA. You have some beautiful projects that you represented, all different scales. And we've had a really good time looking at your work and all of the things that you're thinking about in that area. Just keep on going. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Kevin Kennedy with Cluck Design Collaborative, an architecture firm here in Charlotte, and also CEO of the Spokeasy, a bike shop and bar. Cluck has been around for 20 years. We specialize in not specializing. So we do everything from single family, multifamily, restaurants, and really don't limit ourselves in that way. It was really great today to see a lot of really great projects and have really fun discussions about those projects. Got to see a lot of really nice residential work, especially. So thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so I think when the Georgetown renovation project came up, we were thinking about how the renovation actually opened up the space. So a lot of small transformations really added up to something more, sort of made the spaces feel a little bit more light. And then the stair in particular, we thought was really beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the detailing of the stair and the light and the way it kind of brought light into the space is really nice.
Yeah. Consistent craftsmanship, attention to all that.
Yeah, beautifully done.
Beautifully done. Okay. So the collection at R Street, when I first saw it, I really appreciated the way that building was reused and given a completely new life, especially from the lighting aspect, natural light, and then the appendages on the side that transitioned it to the newer construction.
Yeah, and I think too the way they kept and really restored a lot of the historic elements was great, but then the modern stuff was the part that kind of jumped out for me too. So you could really tell, even though it felt integrated, sort of new and old working together was really nice in this project.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The use of the entry space and the way that kind of connected the historic and the modern was really nice. It's around.
Absolutely.
Great project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for us, this one really jumped off the page.
Absolutely.
The Howard University building renovation project. I think for us, it was the complete package. It was a beautiful renovation, a really dramatic transformation, and a really strong kind of narrative clearly presented.
Absolutely. And the attention to detail from a historic standpoint, everything was just so cleanly, lovingly restored. Again, natural light pulled into some of these spaces that hadn't seen it before ever. It just looks like a jewel for that campus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the before and after photos were really interesting to see how spaces changed and were kind of brought back to life in a slightly new way.
Clearly excellent.
Absolutely excellent.
So next on our list is the USDA Dairy Forge Innovation Center. And this one, we awarded a citation award for responsible design. This was an interesting concept. It took, I guess, a farm, dairy farm, and had a circular closed loop ecosystem model around how do they take what is happening on that farm with the horses and I guess cows actually, and harvest the manure, use it for research, and then bring it back to the fields and create a closed loop cycle while creating an environment where they can research and expand on what they do there. So they had a lot of information around sustainability and other aspects of it too.
Yeah.
So the Net Positive Infectious Disease Laboratory, we awarded this project a Merit Award. This was an interesting one. It's an unbuilt category project, and what caught our eye, I guess, was the fact that they put a lot of detail into all the sustainability aspects of the project, the water conservation, passive cooling. They took the building, they sunk it halfway below ground to use the earth and the passive cooling aspects of that. And they did it in a way that still allowed for some interesting architecture of the project as well.
Yeah, one of the things that I enjoyed most about this project was its commitment and dialogue surrounding to equitable communities. The fact that they're talking about collecting rainwater and then distributing that water to surrounding areas in need, I thought was very enticing. Jam June Specialty Rehabilitation Hospital. This was another Merit Award winner. One of the things that stood out about this project is its commitment to patient care. I believe and thoroughly enjoy healthcare projects that don't look like typical healthcare projects. There's something special about the patient flow and the patient environment where their healthcare facility doesn't necessarily look like a place where you go to get life-saving support.
Well,
Exactly.
they created an experience of going to this facility, and it's unique, and the architecture kind of speaks to that, and so it was interesting.
And that was carried into the facade design to the mention of the parametric design of the facade panels and integrating that with the daylighting principles.
Union Market Residential. I thought this project was interesting just for the simple fact that in the way they were able to integrate something very unique and contemporary into an existing warehouse that makes it feel like it belongs in this area. I think we talked about this feels like a place that we would want to live, and given the location where it is, absolutely believe that this project stands out for its own very unique reasons.
Yeah, agreed.
So the Gear House residential project also really stood out to us, I think, as compared to multifamily, what we think of as standard. This one we just thought was fun and interesting, and especially the way that the form and push and pulls on the exterior with the image of the shipping container kind of being something that they clearly pulled from in the design for the exterior as well as the interior.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things that I felt made this project really special and nice is the attention to detail, particularly at the street level when you get the front facade with the glass and you look through it, especially at nighttime, and it looks like a shipping container freight yard, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
The split influence house was really interesting. I think the detailing, especially of the glass window and the breakfast nook, was something we talked about a lot.
The warmth of the house, the interiors really tied together a palette that showed a lot of careful thought and also warm materials that made you want to experience all the spaces in that house.
Yeah, it felt bright and open, and in some ways even more mid-century modern than the original. Yeah, it's a cool project.
Yeah.
I think for the Kett residents, for us, it was the sort of interiors and the spatial transformation and even the play of section. There was a lot of clever moves that made each space feel really unique. A lot of it was surprising. I think like the kitchen and some of the other detailing that sort of opened it up in volume made this one stand out for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a complete interior renovation to an existing building that really wanted to bring you all the way through back to that pool. Very inviting.
Yeah, and another one with an interesting stair.
Indeed.
Okay.
I think for the Hampstead house, we were initially taken by the sort of dramatic change front to back, the way it presented itself, really sort of humanely scaled to the street and then really open and sort of dramatic in the back as it faced the backyard. The other thing that took us as we looked closer at it is what they started with was really uninspiring, and I think where they ended was very inspiring. So a clear award winner for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, some really nice glass detailing, lots of nice natural light.
Yeah, lots of different spaces that were just gorgeous, bringing in the connection to the outside.
So the Exeter Roadhouse was definitely one of my favorites, and I think we talked a lot about it, the way that you can see all the way through the house as you enter, the nice volumes, and then of course the big glass.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. I felt like it was a Mondrian come to life. All the different gridding, and you could really get a sense of that with the color moved throughout the house, and that stunning rooftop occupational space. I mean, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, this one was sort of, I think, jumped off the page for all of us as sort of pure architecture, you know, mass void and playfulness and plan and section. The spaces were, I think, dramatic and sort of carefully scaled. It's a really beautifully done project. So super thorough, like hit every sort of thing you'd want.
Yeah.
Truly excellent.
Well done.
I think for Inspire Embassy Row, I mean, the first thing that jumped out is this is senior living. And I think most of us that have had anybody that has had to experience elder care and things like that, those spaces aren't always the most humane, and this one felt really sensitively done, and spaces throughout were carefully detailed and really cohesive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we really appreciate the thresholds and the use of not using the flooring to create the thresholds, but creating the walls and the curves to make those was really nice. Really stood out, especially as a senior living project.
Yes, it was beautifully done.
I know where I'm retiring. I think corporate interiors are a challenge a lot of times because they're big floor plates and sometimes the spaces can feel really monotonous. So I think the design team took a very limited palette and vocabulary, the sort of subtle curves and the introduction of a few warm elements to really make the spaces feel cohesive. And the vocabulary I thought was really nice throughout the project.
Yeah, the use of the ceiling plane to differentiate the spaces and conceal lighting was really nice.
And the stair, of course, was a stunner.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful stair.
The Baltimore Ravens Under Armour Performance Center. This was a juror citation for its dynamic interiors. When you look through the photos, I can only imagine what this place feels like in person. I mean, it's very, very awesome.
It's certainly not the same locker rooms and
That's
training
right.
facilities
Yeah.
I've been in, but
Yeah.
it's really high quality, high level of interior design. I mean, just the level of detail and the skylight design that they incorporated into the project, and the use of lighting. It was just spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. West Point Golf Clubhouse. I think this project is special for what it's not, right? It's not obtrusive, it's not overbearing. It's very well done, well organized, subtle, and nestled into the natural environment. It's exactly what you want when you're going out for a nice round of golf. It's not overwhelming. It feels like it belongs in that area.
It blends in. It's very simple. Simple strokes. Light design touch to it, but it just kind of feels like it rises up out of the earth and the berm there that it sits on, and like you said, does not detract from the beauty of everything surrounding it. It enhances it.
The Joy Evans Therapeutic Recreation Center. This was a merit award, and I think stood out to us for a number of reasons. In the narrative, they explained the use as something that could appeal to all ages and types of people, and can be tailored to that experience. And then I think from there expands on the design framework criteria and how it really meets all of those, as well as just providing some dynamic spaces that some of the forms. I know I especially love the space where the pool is, and how some of the exterior canopies are kind of folding and kind of shape that exterior facade as well.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job from inside to out. I mean, the exterior was striking. I love the use of the materials, the wood, just the form of the building. They had a little playfulness with the roof line even. So great job on the design outside, and then the art installation in the, I guess that's maybe the main lobby area. It's just beautiful.
So I think for Chapman's Stable Loft was really an exciting project because it took a space and had an intervention that expanded the space and really felt like a piece of furniture almost come to life.
Yeah, this was one of my favorites. Doing a lot with a little. I think here the super restrained palette made it feel like a much more significant architectural intervention than the scale would suggest.
Yeah, and that stair is just gorgeous.
Yeah. Hopefully it's on Airbnb. I'd love to stay there.
Flint Hill Writers Retreat, I thought was just a jewel of a small project.
Certainly one of your favorites.
Absolutely one of my favorites. I thought it was just so sweet in scale and had so many different materials that were called that area. The detailing, especially on the interiors, was just beautiful. Just a lovely place for a writer's retreat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the wood detailing in the bathrooms and in the bedrooms really stood out for sure.
Yeah, completely carefully crafted interiors. The spaces felt like they would be a beautiful place to write, for sure.
Well, the Innovation District Pump Station, we awarded this project the Design Award for Excellence. The reason for this was it was such a great project, I thought. I mean, from top to bottom, the design of the project, the sustainability initiatives, the discovery, the educational aspect of it. They took something that was utilitarian, pump station, right?
Yeah.
And celebrated it in a way that brought the community in to something that really typically is off limits, behind fences, and just for to serve the purpose for what it serves, right? And instead it became this great park. Became a playground. There's fun pipes that are turned into slides that go down the bank, and they took a really kind of standard building module of a square block, and really thought of how do we celebrate this from the design side of it, and had some interesting design elements from the canopy out front to the fenestration and the materials that they used.
The E.A. Fernandez Idea Factory. We give a merit award to this project as well, and I think it started with this interesting comparison of the historic building that it's connected to, and they approached it with a very different architectural style and this really dynamic and bold form, and then having that space on display where the robotics lab and some of these exciting research lab spaces are in the building.
It's a very challenging site because it was very long and narrow and tight, and so they obviously had to go vertical with the programming of the spaces, and they used a central core that kind of carried us. They called it the spine through the building, which really organized all the space. That was an innovative approach to organizing the space.
The MLK Center for Communication, Arts, and Humanities at Bowie State University. What a great project that was. From a dynamic facade, the really engaging interiors. I thought this project hit on a lot of, checked a lot of the boxes that we as designers often desire to check, but often miss here and there. It felt like this design team was very, very thoughtful in the way this project was laid out, not only, again, from the exterior, but how it carried through all the way to the interiors and functionality of the space.
Yeah, the social justice component, really important to the story and how well they integrated it into the project.
Discovery, an opportunity for learning. Visitors to the space can learn about all of these things, the concepts of social justice, the things that are happening in our communities nowadays. So they did a great job with incorporating all of that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful project.
Okay, so the Virginia Tech Academic Building 1, which I understand is the space that everyone is sitting in as they hear us talk today, or which will be in a few weeks, I guess, when the award ceremony is happening. But this project, we awarded a design award for excellence, and it's pretty clear why. I mean, I don't know that we had a lot of things we disagreed on this one, if any. I mean, it was a fantastic project from top to bottom. The design of the space is just stunning. The architecture, the interiors, and the way they approached it was really telling through the design submission that they sent. It checked a lot of the boxes around like design excellence and what the AIA framework looks for. Yeah.
Are academic buildings supposed to look like this? I mean,
none of the ones I went to.
Exactly. I mean, this is a very, for all the reasons you said, Ron. I mean, this is a very dynamic project, a beacon that's going to set the tone for future development in that area.
And data-driven in the form that they developed, right, which was illustrated in the submission as well. And I think that's got to be important for the Institute as an iconic building. So yeah, wonderful job, beautiful project.